Hello and welcome to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our top 5 best bets of the Cheltenham Festival video. It's a video you usually all look forward to, and no, do not scratch your eyes. Your eyes are not deceiving you. Sam is back. Yes, he is here alongside me. He's joined us for the big video before the Cheltenham Festival. And Sam, how on God's earth are you?
Yeah, hello and welcome to the next. So, wait, that's usually my job. Usually I'm hosting this show. It's great to be on the other side. To be fair, Jack, your content over the Cheltenham Festival, especially with the Anti-Post series, has been absolutely fantastic. So I thought, do you know what? For the Cheltenham Festival season, you can deal with Next Gen Racing. I'll be back for the flat season for all the big festivals. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to next week. It's going to be a busy week working at the Racing Post, but really looking forward to it. And I don't know what time you'll be watching the racing over in Hong Kong, but the time difference is going to be very interesting for you.
Yeah, it's going to be some late nights over here. No doubt we're watching it alongside trying to squeeze in Happy Valley's night meeting as well on Wednesday evening. But hey, it's going to be a stellar 4 days nonetheless. And I know you're going to be, this time in a week, you're probably going to be pretty tired. It's fair to say. So without further ado, Sam, I think it's time that you kick us off with your number 5 best bet for the Cheltenham Festival.
Absolutely, this one might shock a few, but this comes in the Stayers Hurdle, and I genuinely can't believe the price is. So I think he'll be the story of the festival, and it's Paisley Park. I just cannot believe he's the price he is. I think he's around 16 to 1 currently, best price. But you've got to remember, this horse finished a short head behind Crambo only recently on his last start, and Crambo's probably the best of the British. In the betting, he is the best of the British. Yes, Tearpoo looks like the one to beat. Irish Point looks like a horse who may be going to the Champion Hurdle. So this isn't a strong Stayers Hurdle. I can't remember the last time we actually had a really strong Stayers Hurdle, but you look at this race now and it's really going to cut up. Paisley Park, like I say, potentially could still be the best of the British. I don't think this horse is actually far off his best form. I think he's been superb. Second in all 3 starts. He's been really unlucky. He hasn't been finishing second by a mile. He's been caught in almost like a short head or a neck or whatever. So I think that if the pace is on here and there's a strong pace, you know what's going to happen on quicker ground. This horse is just going to be plugging away. You're going to think, he's going to finish, 4th or 5th, but he will keep going, this horse, round the bend. And I've got a feeling, Jack, he's going to run a massive race. He's beaten the like Dashel Drasher and Marie's Rockin' Champ this season. That is, in my opinion, if there were no Irish horse in this race, he's strong enough form to go and win this. He'd be single figure odds. I think he'll be the story of the festival. We're waiting for a big story. We've got no Constitution Hill, and I'd love to see Paisley Park. What a day that would be if he were to win the Stayers.
Oh, yeah, it would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? Gone are the days where you could back him in play when he was off the bridle early. Everyone knows he's going to be staying on. It's an interesting one. Number 5 for me. I'm gonna push Ballyburn to the side because I think he's just going to go and win the Gallagher Hurdle. So number 5 for me is actually going to come in the Coral Cup, where I think Ballyadam is a big price. I was going to say Ballyburn again at 20 to 1. Ballyadam he's off a mark of 147, and I just think he's been kind of set out for this. I mean, he had 3 runs over fences. That didn't really work out for him. They reverted back to hurdles, and last time out in the Christmas Hurdle, I thought he ran a good race behind Irish Point there. And I mean, he's obviously got the festival form in behind. He was second in the Supremes, ran in the county, and finished 5th 2 years in a row as well. So I think a mark of 147 isn't that bad for Ballyadam. So I think at 20 to 1, I think he's where I'm going to go for my number 5 selection. What about number 4 for you, Sam?
Yeah, no, Ballyadam's an interesting one there, Jack. I mean, I fancied this horse on every year he's run at the festival. It's the first year where I haven't actually put him up. I'll probably have to have a few quid on now that you've put this horse up. My next bet will come in the Supreme Novices Hurdle. We know now that Ballyburn, I wouldn't have put this horse up if Ballyburn were running here, but I think Asian Master, I can't believe the price of this horse for Willie Mullins. He's got a strong lineup. I don't even know who will be riding this horse on the day. It'd be hard to call. It'd be like Aidan O'Brien in the Derby. You wouldn't know who's riding what. But I think this is the forgotten horse in the Supreme. Had 2 runs for Willie Mullins. 2 wins. I actually think this is a weak Supreme. You may disagree with me, but now Ballyburn's out, I don't think this is an exceptional Supreme like we've had in the last few years. But I think it could go to an outsider. I actually think Tiller the Name's another interesting one for the informed Ben Pauling yard. But I think this horse is rapidly improving. You go look at this horse's last run, put up an RPI of 143. Now that's not far off the level that you need to be to win this race based on who else is running in this race. Like, only has to have a few pounds to find. I genuinely think this horse will run a mass race. His form from December's working out really well, and then he put up a really, really good performance against Better Days Ahead the last day as well. I think winning by about 10 lengths. I just think this horse is rapidly improving. I will take a chance on the Supreme, and I can see Asian Master going off a lot shorter.
Wow, that is a big shout. Asian Master is definitely the forgotten one in the Supreme. I'm going to join you in the Supreme for number 4, and it's another Willie Mullins yard. And I think the Simon Year and Isaac Swade team have a stellar hand going to Cheltenham this year. And I think Mr. Jiff could surprise a few people. He's only had the one run for Willie Mullins, but I think that's quite deceiving because he's had 9 runs on the flat in France, 2 over hurdles in France. So he actually comes to the race as probably one of the most experienced horses in the field. And look, he couldn't have been any more impressive at Limerick. They went out, set an okay fraction, slowed the speed up and kicked clear in very good style. Willie Mullins, of course, we know bring those to the Supreme with stellar French form. They go, and I think he's bought 4 here in the last 10 years and had 3 winners and a second there. So Mr. Jiff is hopefully going to be holding some esteemed company. As you say, Ballyburn going elsewhere means it's definitely crying out for an outsider here. I'd say Mr. Jiff's probably done as much form-wise as Jericho de Repene has. So
yeah,
a double figure price. I think he's only around the 12, 14 to 1 mark at the moment. But I think we're both hopefully along the right lines here. Look outside of the Tully Hills and the Mystical Powers and go for an outsider here in the Supreme. On to your third selection, Sam.
Absolutely, like you said, look, if they currently stand with the amount of Mullins horses, I might even play the kind of tri-cast with all of them in there with a small stake and hope they finish in the wrong order because it could pay out quite well. My next selection comes in a handicap. It's my only handicap selection. It's built by Ballymore in the Coral Cup. I think this horse has been really well campaigned by Martin Brazel. I thought if this horse actually ran the Gallagher, this horse would probably be the horse to finish second behind Ballyburn. I think this is a really, really good horse. I thought he ran 8th in his maiden hurdle right at the start of the season. It was actually quite a strong maiden hurdle if you go back and look at it. But since then, he's won twice. And I think this horse is a really slick jumper. Now, I genuinely think they would have gone for the Gallagher Novices hurdle if they had been given a much higher mark than they had. But I think they're taking advantage of this 139. I can't believe that. I think he's definitely a 145 horse in the making. I think he's a graded horse at least. I think he could be quite well, and I think he's improving. We often see these colours do really well in these big handicaps at Cheltenham. I think they've had this on their mind for a little while. I think built by Ballymore, around the 10 to 1 mark, he has been found in the market. I think he's a great price in the Coral Cup.
Well, there we go. We've both got a Coral Cup selection and both got a Supreme selection in there. So full cast.
Just 2 seconds. We've both put up a Coral Cup selection. You haven't put up Langadan. I
didn't really want to mention it. It's kind of sad, isn't it? I mean, he's back to a mark of 141. It'd be one for the good guys if he went and did it. I'll definitely. I mean, I've already backed him, and I hope he does the business because the uproar on social media it will just be golden, absolutely golden. Anyway, on to the third selection now, and I'm going to pick one up here who I just think has a good chance in a below par Arkle. And again, it's going to be another Isaac Swade and Simon Minear horse. And it's Hunter's Yarn. He's only had 2 runs over fences. He blundered and fell on the first one. But the second time out, he cantered all over Path Doru, who's since finished second at Leopardstown in that listed race behind Madara. He's rated 139. And Hunter's Yarn cantered all over him. And we see money just trickle for him all week, and rightly so. I think hopefully he's going to be the one to improve past the Willie Mullins other contenders there, and found a 50 who I don't really rate, to be honest. If there's one who I think could be the danger, I think it's My Mate Mozzie or even Quilixios, to be honest. It's a very open Arkle, and I think it's crying out for something to come and hopefully improve past them all. So Hunter's Yarn is going to be my third best at around the 6 to 1 mark. I'll go on to the second best here, and I'm going to go for Loda Sud in the county hurdle. I think the Skelton lot think a huge amount of him. He's still around the 12 to 1 mark, which I kind of think is skinny enough, but then I can also see him being backed on the day. He ran a great race in the Betfair hurdle last time out. It looks like he can handle any ground. He's a very strong traveller, which I think you need in these big handicaps, and I still think he's off a workable mark. So Loda Sud is going to be the runner-up in the top 5 best bets for myself this year. Sam, take us home with number 2.
Yeah, Loda Sud. I've heard plenty about that horse for the county hurdle. And Hunter's Yarn, just Path de Rue. I know Gavin Cromwell on the previous circuit's actually been really sweet on that for the Grand Annual. I know Johnny Deneen's also keen as one of his top selections for the handicaps. Right, I'll go on to my number 2. This one here has been absolutely slated by Ben Blackmore at the Racing Post. I'm going to call him out here, but it's Hitman in the Ryanair. He's given me absolutely no chance with this horse. But what can I say about Hitman? We know I love this horse, and I have said on this show probably about 2 years ago that I think this is just an Aintree specialist, but I was kind of proven wrong last year. I was really impressed by his finishing third in what I think was genuinely a stronger Ryanair last year. Finished behind Envilen and Shishkin last year, but there were much better horses in the race for sure. His first run of the season, they obviously discovered an issue and they gave him a wind up, and that was quite rightfully so. I'd never ever rate a horse on what they did after a wind up. He finished a kind of subpar performance, and I was a bit like, he's had a wind up, give him a chance. He then came out, now this is the important one, against Shishkin at Newbury, and I genuinely thought at one stage he was going to go and, he would have gone fairly short. I'm not saying he would have gone favourite in play, but he would have gone short on the way that he was travelling down to the last fence. I think he's going to actually take another step forward. I don't think Banbridge potentially could come out of this race. It has to be quick going for Banbridge to run. Stage Star, who'll be the stable's first pick most likely, he can throw in a really iffy performance from time to time. And then you've got Envilen to beat, who's one of the older horses in the field. Conflated maybe the danger they switched this horse from the cross country back to the Ryanair. Everyone thought this horse would go to the cross country, but runs in the Ryanair. I don't think Hitman should be 25 to 1. I don't think he could be. He's a very consistent horse. He's going to travel well. He may not win it, but I'm just saying that I'd be very disappointed if he's not in the first 3-4 home. So Hitman for me in the Ryanair.
Wow, it's a big selection. I remember, I'll take you back to the 4th of December 2021 when we went to we went to the Tingle Creek meeting together. Grenadine has just beaten Hitman home, and we were by the parade ring afterward, the winners' enclosure after.
Yes.
And I remember turning around to me, and your eyes were glowing, and you went, "Did you just hear the way Paul Nicholls spoke about Hitman there? He's going to win a big one." And we're still waiting for him to win that big one. And he is a big prize, isn't he? He's 25 to 1. How is he 25 to 1?
Can we just say that I said this about Dragon Symbol as well? I said he'd win a big one and it never actually happened. But yeah.
Yeah, this is true. We're waiting for Primo Bachos to still come and race as well. She'll be retired and come and win, but she fetched 7 figures. So there we go. How we've got those into a Cheltenham video, I will never know.
Yeah.
Anyway. That I'm going to go for my number one selection for the best bets at the Cheltenham Festival this year is going to be Delta Work in the cross country at 3 to 1. I don't really like the cross country as a race. I just think with the rain that's coming, I really can't fancy Manila Indo. I completely understand he's had the one run over the cross country fences. He's been schooling over them, this and that. But I just think he's far too short. Delta Work loves Cheltenham. He loves rain. He's been there. He's done it. And Sam, I think he's going to go and do it again.
If you'd offered me a market on what race your best bet would come in, I'd have had the cross country right down the bottom. That's why that shocked me. So the fact that you've napped up in that race, in all fairness, means quite a bit. It's Delta Work, interesting. My best bet is short, and I've made it short, but I just genuinely can't see this horse being beaten. But it's Lossy Mouth in the Mare's Hurdle. I think the 4 to 6 actually might end up being value. Not often I'd fancy a shorty, as you can tell from the 4 horses that I put up prior to this, but I think this is the best hurdler running at the Cheltenham Festival this year. I think this is no disrespect to State Man. I'm actually so happy for State Man that he's going to get a champion hurdle, because I think he would have been, one of the best horses never to win a champion hurdle if he had kept finishing second to Constitution Hill. But if Lossy Mouth went for the champion hurdle, I'd be concerned for State Man. I think this horse is an absolute weapon. She came off a long layoff, and what she did at Cheltenham, it was spine-tinglingly good. It was so good. And Joe Chambers said she'd come on for that run. What more has she got in the tank? She's got gears to burn. And the people worrying about whether she stays the trip, I think she's certain to stay the trip. I think if anything, we'll see her to better effect over that trip. I'm really excited by her. I'll admit, I have not backed this horse in a single. I've backed all of the selections that I've just given as singles Stanley, and I've also put them in a double with Lossy Mouth to boost the price, because that's how I play. But I wouldn't be backing Lossy Mouth as a single at 4 to 6. There are punters out there that would, but I've put this horse in a double. I think she's the banker of the week. Lossy Mouth at around 4 to 6. I think she should be about 2 to 1 on.
You can't say she should be 2 to 1 on and she's the banker of the week and then not have a single one. What's that about, Sammy?
Oh, I just don't back. I don't often back 4 to 6 shots as a single. I'm happy to back them in doubles and multiples, but I would not be backing them as singles. I'm not one of those punters.
Well, there we have it. They are the top 10 bets together, and hopefully even a few forecasts in there for this year's Cheltenham Festival. Of course, thank you very much for the support throughout the last few weeks on my own. And here we are. Sam is finally back for this, and he's going to be back for the flat season. Sam, are you looking forward to the flat season?
Absolutely, yeah. It's just been a busy time. I do apologise to our viewers, those who actually enjoy me being on this show. But yeah, I've been so busy during the Cheltenham Festival. I've left Jack to it. He's done a great job with the Antipost series, and you guys seem to have loved it, looking at the comments and likes and interaction on the video. But yeah, I'll be back for the flat season. I think I'll be mainly back for all of the big festivals and big weekends. Although during the flat season, there's a Group 1 almost every weekend and a festival every week. So yeah, we'll be back. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a really good season, and we'll probably have I imagine a flat anti-post preview around Aintree time, just after Aintree. So look forward to doing that. That's probably the next time you'll see me.
Yeah, of course. No, looking forward to that big time. If you have enjoyed the Cheltenham content, make sure you do like, subscribe, all that jazz, and make sure you stay tuned because we'll have some flat content, some more Jumps Festival content coming up very soon. So without further ado, gamble responsibly for the 4 days and enjoy the Cheltenham Festival.